Hi guys, Jumi here. I'm going to do a Q&A today, and I have special guests today. They're gonna hang out with us for this Q&A. I know it's been a while since I asked you guys to give me some questions related to flight attendant cabin crew stuff, but I finally got around it. I got questions in English and Korean, and so the questions that I got in English, I'll answer them in English, and the questions that I got in Korean, I'll answer them in Korean as well. So yeah, let's get started. What's your favorite thing about being a flight attendant? I'd have to say my favorite thing is that I get to have a flexible schedule. I have to be on call every other month, but I do still get my days off fixed. If I'm not on reserve, I get to be pretty flexible with my schedule. I can take a whole week off if I want to. If I want to work a lot more, I can also do that. So that I really like. And another one is that I get to visit a lot of places and get paid for it at the same time. That's a great perk. What's the hardest part of being a flight attendant? I'd say jet lag. There might be a day where I have to go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the very next day I might have to do an all-nighter, and my sleep schedule just gets all messed up, but that's just the nature of the job. How much is the salary of a flight attendant? So this depends on a lot of things. It depends on the airline, and it depends on your seniority and the hours of flying. So the base pay depends on the airline, and the seniority, the airline that I'm working for right now, hourly rate goes up every year. So the more senior you are, you're gonna make a lot more. Right now, I've only been with the company for, this is my second year, so I'm at the very bottom of the pay scale. But as I build my seniority, it's gonna go up every year. And also the pay depends on the hours of flying. You can choose to work a lot. There's a lot of high time flyers, and for me, I don't fly that much. So if you don't wanna work a lot, you just don't get paid a lot. If you work a lot and fly a lot, then your paycheck's gonna go up that much. So it's really hard to say how much the salary of a flight attendant is. It all depends on your seniority, your airline, and the hours of flying. Is it a must to know how to swim to become a flight attendant? I think some airlines do require that you know how to swim, but for both airlines that I've worked for, it's not a requirement. And for ditching, you just have to wear a life vest. How long did you work for Qatar? Reasons why you chose Qatar but not AA at first. I worked at Qatar for a little less than 2 years. I think it was like a year and a half, a little more than that. And the reason why I chose Qatar before the airlines here in the States, because I knew the layovers that I would get over in the Middle East airlines would be a lot better than what I would get over here. Also, I feel like they're like the whole uniform, the hat, you know, it just looked really cool. Lifestyle is different because of the flights that we get to choose. Back in 2016, I think, I was unemployed and I would just sit at home on Instagram and I would see all these Middle East, Emirates, Qatar crews going everywhere, living their lives, shopping, traveling, partying, and it just looked really fun. And so yeah, that's the reason why I chose Qatar before I applied here in the States. Compare your experience at Qatar versus American. Well, that's gonna be a hard one because I feel like Qatar and American is just so different from A to Z. It's just completely different. The system, the lifestyle, the service, the cruise, everything's so different. So I don't know where to start, and this question is really broad. But I would say the biggest part is that with Qatar, you have to move to that country to work for that company. So I feel like the company had more control over my life over there in Qatar because we had a curfew. We had to be home by 4 a.m., which is like so late anyway. Like there's nothing out there that late anyway, but the fact that we have to be there by 4 a.m., we can't sleep over anywhere else. If I wanted to do like a hotelcation and wanted to stay in a hotel, if my visitors came to Qatar, I couldn't do that. I had to be home before 4 a.m. and until 7 a.m. I couldn't leave the accommodation because that was just one of the rules. But you know, the accommodation at Qatar is paid for. It's provided by the company. So that's a good part about it. If you work for other airlines, you have to take care of your own stuff. You have to pay your own rent, own bills, you know, you gotta figure out your own transportations and things like that. With Qatar, they provide everything for you, which is really nice. You don't have to worry about anything. Your paycheck is yours. But there are things that come with that. You know, a little bit of lack of freedom over there because of the culture. The company has a lot of rules that you have to follow. Yeah, lack of freedom. What else is different? Flying is very different. Service was very intense at Qatar. Everything was very detailed, and you know, things had to be a certain way versus where I work right now. It's a little bit more flexible. The car top, the way it's set up, is not as important, whereas like Qatar, it had to be in a certain way because everything had to be very unified. And schedule. I feel like here I can be a lot more flexible with my schedule. Well, yeah, I can, because I can drop my flights, I can pick up more flights. If I want to, I can trade with crews very easily, versus back in Qatar, trading or swapping the flights was pretty hard. It wasn't within our control. We had to apply to the company and ask for their approval. There are just so many things that are different. I don't even know what else to say. What was your experience with the flight attendant training program? How does the program work? It's about 6 weeks to 8 weeks. The training in Qatar had to be more intense, and it was longer because most cabin crews who are hired by Qatar, their first language is not English. So it takes more time to explain things to everyone because we all have to be on the same page. So they have to explain more thoroughly and more in detail. When I came to my new airline, it was easier because the days were shorter and I already kind of had an idea of the aircrafts. You have to memorize a lot of things because so much information is just thrown at you for the 6 to 8 weeks that you're in training for. But other than that, it's not like a very complicated information. You just have to have a good memorization skill. And the exams, they're mostly multiple choice and the answer is very obvious. It's really obvious. The exams are not hard. If you fail more than 3 or 4 times with American, you actually get sent home for academic reasons. But with Qatar, I think they try their best not to send anyone home because, you know, they moved you to a different country for the job, so they really try to work with you and make everyone pass the exam. And their exams are, I feel like, more simple. The answers were more obvious. So yeah, the training it's nothing to be scared of. It's, you know, everyone can do it. It's just you have to really focus and just have everything memorized before the exam. Is it true that flight attendants are always on call? It sounds like a hard job to me if that's true. No, we're not always on call. If you become senior enough, you're not on reserve anymore, so you'll never be on call. But for me, I'm so junior that I have to be on call every other month. And on the month that I'm on reserve, I get my days off, like fixed days off. And then for the rest of the month, I'm on call. I could be on standby at the airport and I could just be home just waiting for the company to use me. Even if we don't get used a lot, we have the pay guarantee, so that's good. Let's see. How does the base work in the AA system? Can you choose the base yourself after training? In training, you get to list out the base that you want. So for me, it was like first San Francisco, second Dallas, third Miami, fourth New York, Chicago, whatever. So depending on the training period, they're gonna have different choices of the cities. You're not gonna always have San Francisco, you're not gonna always have LA, you're not gonna always have Dallas. It depends on their needs at the base. So and depending on the seniority, which means if you're older, you get first priority. So For me, I got my third choice, which was Miami. So that was my first base, and I was there for a year. And then I got transferred to Dallas because I put myself on the list. And if you don't put yourself on the list of transfer, then you can stay in your base pretty much forever. You don't have to move. Just wondering, at what age did you start working as a flight attendant, and did you go to school to prepare for it? I started when I think I was 26. I just simply went to an open assessment day with Qatar. I got lucky and got selected. I didn't prepare specifically for the cabin crew job previously. Being a flight attendant can be hard to start a family in the future. Thoughts based on your experience. I don't have an experience of starting a family yet. I couldn't tell you from my experience, but I don't think it's hard because I see a lot of flight attendants who are mothers or fathers. It feels like, to me, almost better than other jobs because you're so flexible with your schedule. Like, let's say you have a job that starts at 9 and ends at 5. 9 to 5 job. So during the day, you wouldn't see your kids anyway. But if you're a flight attendant and you're off for like an entire week, by like 2-3 times a day, you're home for most of the month. So you could take care of your family that way. And so I don't know, not the right person to ask. Honest reason why you left Qatar for American. My honest reason was because I was so stressed in Qatar. Like I said, the service was really intense. We would have to do a lot of services throughout the flight. Even if it's a short flight, we would have meal services, and you know, they were very specific about how we did it, and everything was very detailed. They care a lot about service, and you know, that's probably why they're ranked one of the best airlines in the world, because their service is amazing. I feel like the company tried to control a cabin crew's life a lot more than it was necessary, because you know, we're all adults. I feel like it was a little too much, and I didn't enjoy the time living in Doha. I know a lot of people love Doha and they love the lifestyle that they have with Qatar, but for me, there was just too many restraints. And honestly, the flights were so challenging. It was so challenging to the point where I would be scared to go to work. I didn't want to go to work. And it got to the point where I didn't even enjoy my layovers because I was working a lot. I was tired, always jet lagged. And you know, I felt like I needed my life before a job. And in Qatar, it was backwards. My job had to be the number one, and then my life, and that just didn't work with me. But do I regret going there? Absolutely not. I loved my experience with Qatar. I loved the fact that I flew for them at one point of my life. I love the fact that I got to live in the Middle East, which is crazy to think about if I think about it right now. I don't know how I decided to go and live there, but it was amazing. I got to go to so many places, exotic destinations. I got to start this amazing career and met a lot of good people working there. I made friends that would last me a lifetime. If I go back to 2016, I would go back to Qatar and do it all over, just because the experience that gave me, it's something that I can never learn here or anywhere else in the world. So I'm grateful that I got selected and went there and lived there and worked for them. But after a year and a half, I just got so tired. I was constantly getting sick. I was really homesick. I wanted to come home a lot, but I couldn't because I'm from Seattle and we didn't have a direct flight to Seattle. So the closest was LA. LA is still kind of far from Seattle. LA flights like 16 hours, 15 to 16 hours, and that's just like really long. And so yeah, that's my honest reason for leaving Qatar. How do you deal with the loneliness that comes with the job? Yeah, let me think about that. How do I deal with it? See, my personality is naturally, I don't really get lonely that often. I really like hanging out by myself. So I don't worry about it that much, but sometimes it gets to me. It does. You know, because we're always alone in the hotel rooms. If no one is going out, you're doing things by yourself in the layovers and on my days off. If I didn't have a roommate, I would be alone at the house all the time. Honestly, lately I've been so busy that I didn't even have time to sleep. That I never really thought about these things. You just have to learn to hang out with yourself. How do you handle jet lag? I drink a lot of coffee. Binge sleep, I guess. Is it hard to put on a smile every single time, and how do you train yourself not to get emotional over unsatisfied passengers? Yeah, sometimes it's challenging to put a smile on every day, but I don't get emotional over unsatisfied passengers because I can't make everyone happy. There's always going to be unhappy people in the world, and I can't help everyone. I think I learned not to take anything personally, so I try my best to make them feel comfortable, give them what they want, but at the end of the day, it's not something that I need to be emotional over. Can Qatar flight attendants use hijab? You mean with like the uniform? No, you have to wear the uniform as it is. If everyone's wearing the hat, you have to wear the hat. If everyone has the jacket off because it's too hot, everyone has to take the jacket off. Like, the uniform has to be very unified. Can a foreigner apply to American Airlines? Do they provide visa sponsorship? Yes, I've seen other nationalities work for American Airlines, but I'm not sure about the visa part. Have no clue. How could you pass the interview, and about the interview process of both companies? To this day, I don't know how I passed. With Qatar, the interview process was an open day assessment, so I didn't have to be invited to the company or invited to the interview. I just showed up, and it was in Atlanta. I flew to Atlanta from Seattle for the open day assessment. They kind of did a presentation about life in Doha, how flight attendant life is gonna look like, and then we had to take like an English proficiency test, like a written test, and then after that we had to do like a group interview. So not an interview, but we had to like do a group activity, so they would give us questions and we would have to figure it out in groups, and they would walk around and kind of see how you're working with other people. And then after that, we did face-to-face. But they didn't ask me anything. They just asked me about my previous job. And they asked me if I had any questions. And I said, no, I'm good to go. So, yeah. I think I got really lucky. It took us like more than 6 hours that day to complete the interview, the assessment. And the entire time, I was smiling like, you have to look like a happy person, and which I was really happy to be there, and I kept making to the next cut, and you know, so I was really surprised and really happy. And oh, about the American, is I had to fly in from Doha to Dallas, and the group interview and all of that didn't happen for me. Usually you would do that too, like group activities, but I just did the face-to-face because the group interview date didn't work out with my schedule, and for some reason they just did face-to-face with me, and then I got offered. So yeah, both companies, I got so lucky. Yeah, like I told you, till this day I don't know why and how, but thank you. How long did you take to become a cabin crew, and how to prepare for the interview? I just kind of practiced with my sister. My sister would ask me a question and I would try to respond, and then my sister would like give me a feedback like, hey, I think you should say this and this and this, and you know, we just practiced a little bit. If you Google like cabin crew interview questions, there's like a whole list of it, so you just come up with your own answer and then just try to practice how to make yourself sound natural. How long did I take to become a cabin crew? It didn't take me a long time because I just kind of went to the interview and I just went. 예전에 카타르 항공도 다니셨는데 저도 이전에 중동 항공사가 꿈이었다가 지금은 미국 항공사에 관심이 많은데 중동 항공사와 미국 항공사의 복지라든지 비행 관련 차이점이 궁금해요. 비행 관련 차이점은 서비스가 굉장히 달라요. 제가 영어로도 지금 전에 말을 하긴 했는데 미국 항공사 서비스가 훨씬 더 심플하고 그리고 일하는 분위기가 굉장히 달라요. 그래서 좀 더 프리한 것 같아요. 중동 항공사 같은 경우는 뭐 스타 랭킹만 봐도 훨씬 더 높잖아요. 막 5스타, 뭐 못해도 4스타 이렇게 되는데 미국 항공사 같은 경우는 포커스하는 게 좀 다른 것 같아요. 회사 모토 자체가 다른 것 같아요. 뭐 미국 항공사들도 서비스를 중요하지 않게 생각하진 않지만 그래도 조금 거기에 비중이 덜 가 있는 것 같아요. 오히려 안전이라든지 그리고 뭐 법 같은 거, 그 항공법 이런 거에 조금 더 포커스를 두고 복지 같은 경우는 뭐 항공사에 일하면은 이제 항공사 혜택이 있는 게 당연하죠. 미국 항공사 같은 경우는 이제 도메스틱, 미국 안에서 비행은 다 공짜로 탈 수 있고 뭐 인터내셔널 비행은 세금하고 항공료 정도만 내고 탈 수 있고요. 그리고 중동 항공사 같은 경우는 공짜로 타진 않았던 것 같아요. 한 10% 정도는 내야 됐던 걸로 기억을 하고 대신에 더 편하게 갈 수 있는 곳이 많죠. 아무래도 데스티네이션이 더 많다 보니까. 그리고 중동이 좀 중간에 있잖아요. 유럽도 가기 편하고 아시아도 가기 편하고 아프리카도 가기 편하기 때문에 여행을 할 수 있는 기회는 중동 항공사에서 일했을 때 더 많았던 것 같아요. 시간적으로 갈 수 있는 거리가 짧다 보니까 그런 게 좀 더 좋았던 것 같고 왜 AA를 선택하셨는지도 궁금해요. 저는 카타르를 그만둘 때 리자인을 할 때 AA가 어플라이 하는 그게 열려갖고 딱 그때 어플라이 했는데 그게 또 인터뷰가 딱 그만두려고 할 때 합격이 되고 그만두고 와서 바로 트레이닝 시작하고 이렇게 약간 딱딱딱딱 타이밍이 맞아서 아메리칸에 오게 되었습니다. 미국에서도 메이저 항공사에서 일을 하고 싶었어요. 그래야 좀 비행도 여기저기 많이 다니고 좀 더 데스티네이션이 많고 큰 항공사를 가고 싶다라는 생각을 했던 것 같아요. AA 채용 절차와 비디오 촬영을 어떻게 했는지 궁금해요. 질문 내용도요. 채용 절차라고 하면 이제 paperwork, 온라인 어플라이를 일단 했고 그리고 촬영은 그냥 이렇게 여기 폰 어플 같은 걸 다운받으라고 해요. 그 어플로 이렇게 녹화를 했습니다. 질문 내용은 기억이 안 나요. 기억이 안 나는데 이거 비디오 녹화를 할 때 이게 무제한으로 연습을 하고 할 수가 있어요. 질문을 주고 내가 연습을 하고 진짜 녹화를 누르기 전까지 내가 정말 confident 할 때까지 계속 연습을 할 수가 있어요. 그래서 질문 내용도 그렇게 스트레스 받진 않았던 것 같아요. 왜냐면 내가 생각하고 얘기를 할 수 있는 부분이니까. 입사 후 트레이닝 시 영어 수준도 궁금합니다. 영어 수준이 얼마나 돼야 되는지 궁금하신 거죠? 사실 일할 때는 그렇게 고급 영어가 필요한 것 같진 않아요. 근데 시험을 아무래도 패스를 다 해야 되다 보니까 이제 영어가 편하지 않으면 다른 친구들보다 공부를 조금 더 해야 되겠죠? 교육 베이스 지정과 한국 국제선은 언제부터 탈 수 있는지 궁금합니다. 교육 후 베이스 지정은 제가 앞서 말했으니까 스킵할게요. 한국 국제선은 제가 있는 항공사 같은 경우는 코리안 스피커가 꽤 많아요. 언제부터 탈 수 있는지 정해져 있는 거는 아니고 필요에 따라서 만약에 한국 국제선이 더 늘어나면은 더 스피커가 더 필요하겠죠? 그러면은 저도 더 탈 수 있을 수도 있고 그리고 뭐 만약에 한국 그 인천 비행을 받으신 분들이 비행을 드롭을 하고 싶다 그러면 제가 받아서 할 수도 있는 거고 그 달라스 인천 가는 비행을 하루에 한 번밖에 안 하다 보니까 코리안 스피커가 그렇게 많이 필요하지는 않다. What is the most rewarding part about being a flight attendant? Getting paid to travel. Honestly, even if we don't look like we are, we're always looking out for passengers, what's going on, and if they're okay. If someone's sick, we do our best to do whatever is best for them. And we are concerned about people's safety. So when those things are appreciated by the passengers, that's pretty rewarding. Yeah, it's our job, whether it's appreciated or not, it's what we have to do. But when it's appreciated and noticed, that's pretty rewarding. Yeah, it's a good feeling. Alright, that's it for today. I had more questions, but I feel like this video is going to be so long and a lot of them are repetitive. So I'm going to end it here. If you have more questions, feel free to leave it in the comments below. I'll try to answer them. So yeah, I hope this helped a little bit. If you're trying to become a flight attendant or cabin crew, or if you were just wondering about our lives, I hope this kind of gave you an idea about it. And so yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.